BMRforum.com and BMRodds.com. What is going on, boys? What is going on? How's everybody doing today? First and foremost, it's not my usual jovial electric opening for the show. As many of you have read on the forum, and unfortunately and sadly, if you have not, we unfortunately have lost CarolinaKid, very dedicated poster to BMR, always putting up his own money in forum contests, and just always being a really great presence for the forum. So it's a very sad loss and a very, very sad day for the forum communities overall. I know across the street he was well known, and of course, like I mentioned, he's well known here at BMR for a variety of things, and it's just very, very unfortunate and very sad, especially.
Yeah, I met CK back in the 90s. I mean, when I don't know if you guys know Ken, the owner of the RX, the prescription. That's how long I known him, and the guy was always pretty good guy, straight up guy. It's always sad when somebody passes away, man. I mean, I've had that recently in my family, so yeah. Anyways.
No, it is. I mean, I've known, I knew CarolinaKid across the street as well, and I've gotten to know him better, over here at BMR, and just a very, very, very sad for sure. Sammy.
Yeah.
Death is a time for reflection, and you always think about people around you. You think about yourself. You think about life and everything. It's always tough, but you posted a lot of stuff. It sounded like he lived a life. He was just a regular guy, liked sports, liked gambling, liked traveling, liked going to games. Bobby, you posted pictures of him at Duke, going to different games, going on different adventures and stuff like that. So, it's
I always knew he was an older guy because, I'm an old guy. So, and, back in the 90s, that's when, the offshores were really booming.
Right. A lot of these forums got started up, 90s, early 2000s. And, he was definitely a pioneer and has, been around these forums for years. So it's.
Yeah, I kind of when I read what he posted, he said not good. I kind of felt something there,
Right.
I kind of like took that as a hint.
Yep. But anyway, aside from that, Donnie, Sammy, how you guys doing today? Donnie, what's going on?
Yeah, doing pretty good under the circumstances. Sometimes, it's not like, how long you live. It's how well you live your life and just cherish all those moments at that point. And it seemed like, throughout the years, all the posting, the man certainly lived his life. And sometimes, as Sammy said, you got to reflect on the good times here because each one of us has an expiration date. Just live life in the fullest, man.
That's
tell your
right.
parents, tell your brothers, tell your sisters, tell your friends how much you mean to them because you never know when that time is certainly going to come. But outside of that, NFL is about to get underway. We're about to have some fun. So at this tough time where, family members per se online pass away, it is a tough scene overall, but, time goes on and that happens here. And the best thing to talk about, what brings us together, sports and handicapping and having some fun and, sort of letting loose. So help that time go.
Yeah. Exactly right. Sammy, how you doing today, buddy?
Great, man. Day off. Got to golfing, doing my normal thing.
Nice.
Shot plus 4. So playing pretty well this summer.
Wow.
Very nice.
Getting ready for a real patriotic next couple weeks, betting on USA in the Olympics.
Pipe, how's it going today, buddy?
Getting ready for football here, man. It's right around the corner. It's crazy that a couple months here we're going to be doing the real McCoy.
Yep.
Exactly. And Donnie, since we're talking about football, let's jump right into it with some training camp talk. What do you like? What have you seen so far? I mean, what's your opinion here?
I just love it because, I'm big on X, right? So you follow all the different teams, certain different labels that you have, and my timeline is just booming, man. It's just good to see the beat reporters just filling in the timeline on practice after practice after practice, just seeing the guys in shorts and helmets making plays out here. It's close. And again, we're only about a week away from having a preseason game, but it feels like, sometimes it's a national holiday. Everybody's in camp. Everybody's ready to go. There's a couple holdouts now they got to keep an eye on, but it's just fun to see the evolution of football season now that we're back. Honestly, it was a long time since the Super Bowl, really was, but sort of feels like the Super Bowl wasn't that long ago, and here we are already in the football season. Even again, I preface it, it's been a while. It just feels so quick, and I'm here for it. Before you know it, we'll be doing these episodes going like, man, can you believe it? The Super Bowl is next week, so enjoy it while you got it.
Exactly.
Great time of year.
It feels like Super Bowl was just last week, and we're already jumping in to training camp and preseason. Sammy, you been catching any training camp talk on X? What do you think so far?
Yeah, I think there's already been a fight in Kansas City. Didn't Tooney get hit a little bit too hard, and he didn't like the contact in the early starts of preseason. But now's the time where, there's been a lot of offseason changes, and, you're seeing them throughout the year. But during the offseason, the NBA is going on, the NHL is going on, baseball is going on. You're seeing the different moves, but now's the time to look at the rosters and get yourself situated with the official moves, who's the quarterback, who the receivers are. I'm in 5 fantasy football leagues, so that'll definitely help me starting to look at rosters and, rankings and everything. So that gets my mind back into football mode over the next couple weeks.
5 fantasy leagues, huh, Sam? Wow.
Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I'm not the only one on the forum that's in multiple leagues. Plus, I'm going to be in like 12 different contests through the forum. Bookmaker already threw out a contest giving away $10,000 for the first month of the season. We're not even talking about all year long. Yeah. There's going to be tons of money being thrown around through various contests, through the forum, through Sperry's Sportsbook, through posters. So let's go. Let's get ready.
It's definitely going to be a good time for sure, Sammy. And speaking of that bookmaker contest, September contest is open now for registration, guys. You must submit a valid bookmaker account to participate or register via the link in LT Profit. Big shout out to LT Profit for running this contest, by the way. Sign up for a account using LT Profit sign up link, guys. Pretty simple. Each member must submit 7 picks. Confidence picks, so from 1 to 7, depending on what you like worst to what you like least. $600 will be given away each and every week for first prize, and it will be in the form of sportsbook free play, guys, at Bookmaker. So it's going to be a 5-time rollover on any winnings that you do accumulate in this contest. But if you have any questions on how the contest is going to work or any more information, you reach out to LT directly or feel free and make a comment down in his NFL Pick'em Pool thread. So, Sammy, you mentioned you're going to be in some fantasy leagues coming up here. You got like 4 or 5 of them going. What's your strategy going to be like in each one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously hope that my teams are different based on what draft pick I have, but I'm only in 1 keeper league, which is a 2-keeper league. And I think I have Patrick Mahomes and I forget who I have a receiver. See, I'm not even in the mode right now to know who's up my keeper in fantasy football. But basically you kind of hope that you have different picks, because if you have pick number 2 and pick number 10, your teams are going to be a little bit different. But if you have pick number 7, pick number 8, your teams are going to be pretty much the same. Right now, it's a wide receiver league, so your first couple picks are definitely going to be wide receiver and quarterbacks versus running backs. The tier level of running backs versus the tier level of wide receiver is vastly changed over the last 5 years, especially financially. If I'm in high school, I'm definitely changing my position from running back to wide receiver, although height has to play a big factor into that as well. If you're not big enough, sometimes you can't be in that position. But the league is definitely a wide receiver league. So going into fantasy, you're definitely picking receivers over running backs right now.
Yeah.
Yes, for sure. Donnie, do you do much fantasy?
No, it was big before like gambling came into play. I was always in a couple fantasy leagues every single year. And I always have to preface this because I've always loved football and followed it. But back in the day, and I talk about back in the day, let's just say the early 2000s, something around like 2000 to 2005, the information wasn't as easy to find, which gave people who just loved football and followed football a major advantage. Now with all these websites, man, you push a couple buttons and you get all that information right in front of your face where the computer is actually deciding which is the best analytical pick here. So it makes it that much tougher than just going with what you feel and what you watch. So the only thing I used to do now and still do is every Sunday get in the Millionaire Maker contest, which again is lightning in a bottle. You got to get lucky. And of course, I haven't won any of it yet, much like a lot of people have done. But also at the same time, you're trying to say, you know what? If you get in a couple, you can make money and it's fun. You just have to be on top of it. So I agree. Sammy's right. More people than not don't have one fantasy team. It's multiple fantasy teams.
Yeah. Pipe, how about yourself? Are you doing any dabbling in?
I actually do a fantasy with a couple buddies of mine, and we get about 10 guys together.
Yeah.
And do it every year, and get nothing big, like $25, $50.
Right.
And winner takes it all.
Very nice. Very nice. Sammy, jumping in gears from the NFL a little bit. Let's talk some baseball. What do you got on the diamond tonight? Besides the Yankees.
No, you can't bet the Yankees right now. They're horrible. And they just lost yesterday in the Subway Series to the Mets. They're a big favorite tonight, laying like -170. Definitely not worth the juice right there. But speaking of contests, you got a couple baseball contests right now with the JDS contest. You now have 10 guys that have qualified with their 100 post or their 100 pick minimum, max of 125. So now it's really starting to get strategy wise and guys starting to separate. Top three, you got Head Sturks at plus 12.83 units, Empire Maker at 13.32, and then Sunshine leading the way with a 5-unit lead at 18.11 right now. But he's still about 40 games away from qualifying. So could be a big variation plus or minus with him. And the other big contest you got right now is the Tanko Cover the League contest, where you have to pick one team a day. Once you use them, you can't use them again, and you have to pick all 30 teams to win. And you're allowed unlimited losses throughout. The first person to cover the league to get all 30 teams to win essentially will win the contest, or the closest, because we're at the second half of the year. I think we're on day 6 right now. A couple guys at 3, or a lot of guys at 3, a couple guys at 4, maybe one guy at 5. But a fun contest, good strategy. Do you pick the bad teams first or the good teams first? And when do you use them? So another fun contest there. Tonight, I like Miami over Baltimore in an upset pick. I like the Nationals over San Diego. And then the Dodgers with Glasnow coming off of the DL at home versus San Fran.
All righty, awesome. Jumping over to you, Donnie. What do you got in the diamond?
Yeah, watching a couple things in the afternoon, have a couple round robins going, looking decent so far, but also my Philadelphia Phillies had a 4-1 league, started walking guys. Now it's 4-4 right now between Philadelphia and Minnesota, so a crazy one to watch. But I do have 2 RBI props that I really like tonight. Anthony Santander of the Baltimore Orioles tonight to record an RBI or more plus 165 price, and then also Corey Seager of the Texas Rangers. His price point is a plus 135. So I'm going RBI hunting tonight to see if we can rescue some dubs.
All righty, awesome. Donnie Pipe, last but not least, what do you got in the diamond?
I got 2 totals. Game 2 under 7.5 in that Braves game, and my second total is the Yankees under 8.5 tonight against the Mets.
All righty, Pipe. Good luck with those. Sammy, let's talk a little bit of tennis. How's the tennis threat looking? What do you got today?
Yeah, tennis thread's looking good. We're sitting at plus 50 units on the year. All the main guys are in Paris for the Olympics right now, so that'll start next week, of course, for the tennis, but all your major guys are playing there. Yannick Sinner actually withdrew today because he's got tonsillitis, they said. So he had to withdraw the world number 1, so that's pretty shocking. But there is a tournament in Atlanta right now on the hard court. There's 4 tournaments on the clay, so I'm dabbling a little bit on the Atlanta action, but my focus will definitely be on the tennis in Paris on the clay court for the Olympics there.
All righty, what's the tennis threat record at?
543 and 437. Again, right just under plus 50 units on the year.
All righty. Awesome, Sammy. Well, everybody keep track of that thread for plenty of tennis winners. A lot of great tennis action going to be held, especially with the Olympics coming up. And speaking of the Olympics, let's dive into that for a minute. Sammy, first and foremost, what's your favorite Olympic sport to watch? What do you like to watch? What do you like to bet on? And do you have any strategies going into the Olympics as far as betting angles are concerned?
So in reference to the sport I like to watch the track and field events. I definitely like the 100-meter, 200-meter dash, those quick type events. But in reference to tennis, tennis is tennis. So, they're going to be named by their country, but the players are the players. So I'm definitely going to have an edge. It's just the normal betting there. As far as the other things, some of the events, the favorites are too big. Like you can't bet Simone Biles in any event, just like you can never bet Usain Bolt in some of the events. So, and you can't really bet USA. They're minus 600 to win all the gold medals, and just like you're not going to be able to bet USA basketball, they're going to be favored by too much. So you got to kind of have to pick your spots, but sometimes in the big country events, the big favorites are the big favorites. So maybe dabble on some underdogs. The swimming events are also pretty fun to watch as well. Really compelling. You can't bet on Ledecky. She's going to be a massive favorite in all of them. But pick your spots if you want to.
Right. Donnie, same question to you. Favorite Olympic sport? What do you like to watch? And any betting angles going into it?
I don't really have too many betting angles, but I do enjoy the track and field like Sammy does. Like Sha'Carri Richardson, I think she's like minus 175 to win the 100. Clearly one of the most exciting moments in sports that we really don't care too much about track and field. Even though there's world events every single year, every couple of months, we always wait till the actual Olympics to sort of watch and pay attention. So I'll be looking forward to that. I enjoy like the pole vault, all that stuff, because you don't actually get to see it, but on the biggest stage, it's quite fun to watch. But also keep in mind, the men's basketball team, they're about anywhere you're shopping, minus 550, minus 450, minus 400 in that range. they're going to get tested all the way through. Because if you're watching those international exhibition games coming right down to the wire, where like LeBron James had to rescue Team USA with victories, including against South Sudan. So I'm looking forward to that. There's a lot of really good competition. The women's tournament might not be as good, but the men's tournament should be really good. It's no cakewalk for Team USA, the men's side.
No, not at all. Pipe, last question. Same question to you, buddy. You following any Olympic?
I'll watch it, but I really don't bet on it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, what's your favorite sport to watch?
I like the basketball.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Very, very nice. Let's jump into some Q&A here. Sammy, let's start off this question with you. It's from BMR Genie. Since we're talking football, as a bettor, how do you prepare for the upcoming season?
Yeah, so I think first thing to do is just like I said, just kind of start off by reviewing the rosters and figuring out and finalizing all the moves that happened over the offseason that, again, we've all seen, but, it's maybe not in our head or it's not fresh in our head. Preseason, you definitely want to watch, but that's more for the rookies and stuff like that. Some of your major guys aren't even playing, so it's really kind of tough. They always say week 1 and week 2 are the hardest weeks of the betting season because you really don't know a lot about the teams. So really you're just checking for holdouts. You're checking for who's actually practicing, who's practicing well, who's not getting injured, little things like that.
All righty. Awesome. Donnie, same question to you. How do you prepare for the upcoming season?
Boy, it's changed over the years. You're talking about 20, 25 years ago. You used to be able to watch those preseason games. Let's just say we had 4 of them. Like the starters would play in game number 1 quarter, game number 2 quarters, game number 3 they'd play into the second half. Before game number 4, nobody played except the rookies. Now they really don't play at all. But the thing that I love is the information highway. That is the internet and Twitter and social media. You can get a lot of information on a day-to-day basis. But I've had, in the past, let's just say when I was running services, the trickiest 2 weeks of the season to me were always the first 2 weeks, where after that second week, you pretty much know what type of football team you have. Just don't get yourself in trouble. You have a bankroll for a reason starting week 1. It's okay if you have a bad week 1. Don't double down on Sunday Night Football week 1, double down on Monday Night Football week 1. Wait till week 2, and eventually, if you're good at football and you're patient, you're going to be able to make some money, but just don't go overboard in those first 2 weeks. That's all. It's probably the best information I can give out to the people with advice.
That's definitely very good information. They call that late Sunday night, Monday night game the bailout game for a reason.
Low your load.
Everybody's trying to bail themselves out of a jam. Yep. But Pipe, same question to you, buddy.
Yeah.
How do you prepare for the football season?
I basically prepare looking at the numbers because that's what it all boils down to, boys.
Right.
When we win and when we lose, it's a number, right? That's all I look at.
Exactly, unless you're betting those money lines.
That's right.
A question for you too from Brock Landers. He wants to know if you've been to the Palace Station Oyster Bar.
I've not been to the Palace Station Oyster Bar recently. It's probably been about 4 or 5 months, Brock.
And then KVB is kind of calling you out in reference to your weight loss thread. He feels like he's being trolled a little bit. He's saying that, you're jerking their chains. They feel like, you're jerking something else. Maybe you're jerking off via Zoom to Flying Illini.
Damn it, man.
The thread, you got some scale and some phone apps. But
fucking hilarious.
Benefit, what's going on there?
Well, I am still on the weight loss journey currently. As of yesterday, I weigh 232.6 pounds. It's 115 degrees out here. I'm outside a lot. I'm trying to walk a lot. I'm trying to lose the weight. I'll admit I'm still not eating quote unquote healthy as I probably should be. But, like we referenced at the top of the show, you only have one life, and I'm going to try to live it to my fullest. And it's not like I'm 500 pounds, 600 pounds. I am trying, and I'm not gaining a lot of weight. I'm not losing a lot of weight. I'm averaging 230 to 240 pounds right now.
Do I hear you in here lying to people?
Oh, whoa.
Wow. No, I just riding a bike. I said I walk.
Wow.
Wow. To
In the kiss to son.
He walks to the fridge.
You got busted. You got busted.
That was not warranted right there.
On a live wire.
To be fair, you provide great content with all the food making videos.
Right.
So, it's kind of pick your poison. Do you want to lose weight or do you want good content with the
exactly
with the food making videos?
Exactly.
We need healthy content. I like
100%. But just KVB to wrap that up for you, I am definitely trying. It's hard, boys. I mean, Donnie, Sammy, you guys are both pretty thin. I'm sure you don't have any real experience trying to lose a bunch of weight.
No, to be honest with you, Bobby. Yeah, I got as good to be honest with you. Last September 1st, I started fasting, and I'm on a 24-hour fast. I haven't cheated. I started out at 231, and right now I'm at 195. I haven't gave up alcohol, and I gave up caffeine, but I only eat one time a day, and I haven't even cheated all the way through. So September 1st will be 140 fasting. The greatest year of my life. I feel healthy. I feel tremendous. I lost a lot of weight, and on a day-to-day basis, I couldn't be any happier. So I don't tell a lot of people about that. Usually when I do some shows during the day, they know on the radio, but I've been on a 20, not even like a window, like, hey, I eat from 10 to 3 o'clock. I eat one time a day. Usually now, since my time has changed, it's 12 o'clock to like 12:30. That's it. And it's only water the entire day. I haven't even had a soda or a diet soda in a year. Yeah.
Wow. I've heard good things about that 24-hour. That
fasting is all. Even Bobby, honestly, if you don't go 24 hours and you just have a window, it's amazing. Like I lost 30 pounds probably in the first 2 months that I fast. And then it sort of balanced itself off. And I've lost maybe 2 or 3 pounds in the summer because it's hotter. You're walking more and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, if you check in the fasting, you will drop weight like you eat. And again, when I talk about eating lunch, I'm not eating like chicken and rice. I'm eating McDonald's. I'm eating cheesesteaks. I'm eating pizza. I eat whatever I want during that half hour. It doesn't matter.
Wow.
A whole new wardrobe, Donnie.
See that? Yeah, no, absolutely right. I went from like 38s to 36s to 34s. Yeah. Yep.
Wow.
Right on.
I'm definitely going to look into it because I've been seeing people like on TikTok and things like that with the intermittent fasting. And now, that's something, I'm sure, at first, how hard was it for you to get started there? I mean,
the first week is very hard because your body, because me, honestly, in the past, like I love to eat, which means like like breakfast if I have it, lunch if I have it, snacks all day long, dinner, and then it's 10 o'clock. Let me get a bowl of ice cream before I go to bed. That's like my whole life, but usually I was active. But it starts slowing you down at that point. But for me, I just looked at it. I said, you know what? Let me just change a few things up. But if you can make it that first week, you probably won't go back. And I'm actually surprised I made it this long. But in the foreseeable future, like there's no plan for me. Like, oh, no, I get to a year, I'll go back to my old ways. I feel so healthy. Like I'm just going to continue to go and see where it takes me.
Wow. Well, congratulations, Donnie. I'm glad to hear that's working out well.
Now 40 pounds almost. Yeah. Almost 40 pounds.
That's awesome, man. Question from KVB for you guys. Stanley, we'll start off with you because I know you just played today with your balls, not your golf balls. But anyway, are you following any golf? Are you betting any golf? Top winners, tournament finishes? You dabble
when it comes to golf, I pretty much will only touch the majors. I do like watching the golf. I love playing golf, obviously. But when it comes to betting it, only the majors. And I'm only betting it on Sunday. And I'm going to pick a winner from the final 2 groups. So I'm not going to get the best odds, but I'm getting Sunday action for the final couple pairs.
Awesome. Donnie, same question to you. You a golf guy as far as betting?
Betting wise, just during the majors like Sammy here. Olympic golf is kind of interesting because there's a lot of superstars out there, but just don't have like the focus on that. I usually like also, you bet sometimes like a one shot before the tournament starts, 6-1, 7-1, or Scotty Scheffler's like 3-1 every week, which is ridiculous. But I always like the ones, leader after round number 1, or just take a look at a guy that's playing well, then take a look at betting him live during the tournament itself. Not a big golfer, but I usually have 5 or 6 bets a year in golf, which means we're only really hunting majors.
All righty. Pipe, same question to you. You a golf betting guy?
I don't mess with golf at all, Bobby.
Okay. And then just a last question from Brock real fast. Going to throw it in. Brock, I have not been to the Oyster Bar at the new Durango Station Casino here in Vegas. I did hear it's really good, and I do want to go one of these days upcoming soon. But once again, RIP to CarolinaKid. We're all thinking about you here on the forum. We wish you were here with us, especially for this upcoming football season there, buddy. But you guys have a great week. Best of luck on all your action, and we'll see you guys on the forum.
Y'all take it easy.